little cat man into.
You know, some people out there, when they talk, they fake the funk. You want brutally honest? Well, if you want brutally honest, look no further than CG Ruthless Sports.
CG Ruthless.
CG Ruthless Sports.
CG Ruthless.
If you want your sports talk to be brutally honest, come check out CG.
CG Ruthless.
If you're not watching CG Ruthless, I don't know what to tell you. Representing the Niner Empire.
CG Ruthless.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome a special guest of mine, Titan Payne, man. What's up, bro?
What's up, CG Ruthless?
What's going on, man? So explain to the audience who you are and what made you a Tennessee Titans fan.
I'm Titans Payne. Probably one of maybe 15 or 20 Titans fans in Fresno. 559. It's hard to find them here. But I became a Titans fan because I loved just, watching when I was younger, Warren Moon, Eddie George, and just the way they played the game back in the mid-90s. And I just fell in love. And then obviously we ran into the Rams back in 99, and then that just 1 yard short, Dyson, 1 yard short. I remember being 8 and just like crying my eyes out because we lost. Only little 8 years old. And I didn't know the ramifications then, but I'm just now 22 years later, I'm like, I'd love a damn Super Bowl run. 2 years ago when we finally got it, and then the Chiefs were just a juggernaut 2 years ago. And I mean, they still are. So
Yeah, it's kind of surprising when I first met you. I seen you on Titan Gears, and I'm like saying, man, this guy seems like one of those other Tennessee fans I've never seen around as much. But I remember when I met your brother first, and I know most of your families are either Raider fans, and I'm like thinking you must be the black sheep of the family because you go with the Tennessee team.
Well, Dad and my brother are Raider fans. My mom's actually a Rams fan.
Oh,
But most of my family is Raiders, and a couple of Cowboys fans trickled in there. But we'll talk. That's another
time, yeah. So you became a Tennessee fan based by the time they were going to the Super Bowl, right? Or was it during like a couple years back?
Probably a little bit earlier. Honestly, when I was watching football 4 or 5, it was the colors that drew me in. And at the time, we were the Oilers, so the little red, white, and blue, it drew me in. And then watching Warren Moon and Eddie George play, I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, sometimes it gets one player to catch in, but what was it like watching Steve McNair, man? I mean, I'm pretty sure at a younger age you got a chance to watch him during his prime.
You know what? Watching Steve McNair was just the way that he played with tenacity, and just he has what most quarterbacks don't have is he would get lit up. He would play through injuries, and you just don't see that a lot these days. Quarterbacks barely get nicked, and they're, oh, my elbow, I need to sit out a couple of games. And just McNair, the way that he played, he symbolized football. I believe McNair could have played in the 60s and 70s because he was that tough.
Yeah. So that was one thing about what makes it interesting was McNair, and then you had Eddie George, then you had a few guys, and then you had Derek Mason as your other good receiver for a while before he went to Baltimore. But the one intriguing factor was, when you told me about during the time when we first met, we were going to college and I seen you around, but then we started connecting because we had that wrestling type of interest. We were both into the amateur wrestling. We started catching on to football and all that stuff. But what caught your eye when you found out that I had one of those school records back then?
Oh yeah. I mean, obviously, I went to Sunnyside, and then you're going to McLean, and then I started coaching at McLean, and then us knowing Doc Littman, it was awesome. And then just asking Doc, like, "Hey, did CG Ruthless really have this record?" He was like, "Yeah, pin a kid quick." And I think while I was there, a kid actually beat the record. Elijah Neal, I believe, ended up pinning a kid in about 5 seconds. So it was, but I might be wrong. It might have been closer to 9 seconds on that pin, but yeah.
Yeah, the one interesting about that record was it was in my first match. So I don't think anybody can duplicate what I did at that my debut. You know, debuts always make impressions, but I guess Doc Lippman still talks about it. He even calls me the legendary. But you know, some people think I'm a little bit bringing back the old memories. But hey, that's something that you kind of caught your attention. You didn't even know I had the record.
Yeah.
But then you started coaching. What got you influenced into coaching after that?
I graduated 2010. I wrestled at Fresno City for 3 years. Um, just got into coaching because I loved it. But now I'm starting to jump into actual football coaching. This past year, I coached at the middle school that I teach at, and we had a pretty good offensive defensive line until obviously with COVID hit, and I lost most of my starting lineup. And with middle school, you test positive, you're out 10 days. So that was pretty shitty. But actually, most of my line this year was seventh graders, and they wrestled for me this year. And my three linemen actually placed at the middle school district tournament. So I was talking to our head coach as I was leaving campus the other day, and we're actually pretty excited for football this coming year. We'll see if we get some athletes at Yosemite, though. It's hit or miss. We had a couple athletic kids this year, but overall, it was just tough because COVID and kids always missing because just the way the school structure is working right now. So I have as successful middle school season as we'd like.
Yeah, I was thinking exactly a little bit of coaching too at some point, but you know, I probably got to find some more of those connections towards doing some security work down the school, and then maybe I can get myself some assistant coaching job down there. Because I know they probably gonna need some guys who can coach the O line or D line a little bit like myself. And I have a little bit of that energy. A lot of people keep telling me that I bring that energy that they like. Like I can just bring the fire out of them. And yeah, coaching is fun, but it can be stressful when the players don't do it right.
You're right. Right now with wrestling, killing me because I did middle school and high school, and I'm stressed. Plus, you throw in the teaching, it's been kind of grueling, stressful because sometimes it's not going the way that you want. But hey, that's why I love high school because it's a 3 month season, 4 months. So you start. It's not how you start; it's how you finish. And so that was even with football. It's not how we started; it's how we finish.
Yeah, that's true. But let's get on to the game. But I guess from what somebody was talking about, who are your top 10 Titans linebackers? I mean, is there any good ones to think of that are in your top five?
Keith Bullock, numero uno. I love the way that he plays. I'm starting to. I wouldn't say Evans is in there currently, but Bullock will always be number one. He was part of the early 2000 teams, and so he would be up there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think every now and then when you bring up that guy, he was like your best linebacker. And then you had another linebacker. I think he had one that was good for a while. And then he went to free agency. I forget his name, but he went to the Jets. Was it Avery Wilson or something?
Yeah, it was Avery Wilson. Yeah, he came in, and then he was playing so well for us a few years ago, and then we got rid of him. And he was one of our better coverage and pass rushers, and that was a few years ago when our pass rush dipped, and it was horrible. And so a lot of Titans fans were kind of pissed about that. And then we brought him back this year, and then it just didn't work out.
Yeah, it sure is. But let's ask like, okay, for like so when you talked about this game, right? You were talking about you marked this game as your calendar, right? Because of this matchup.
Yeah, marked it. When
You
I saw
marked
the
it.
season, I was like, okay, week 16, let's go. That's this was the game that I was looking for because I already knew. So going into this year, I actually had the Niners as the NFC West champs, but then didn't see Cardinals coming on as strong as they did. And so when you guys were struggling early on in the season, I was like, "Ooh, what's happening here?" My pick, I had you prediction. I still, no matter what, I thought you guys were going to make the playoffs regardless because your defense is starting to pick up big time. And
Yeah,
that's actually
and
something that I'm going to want to talk about during
yeah,
this
especially what comes
session.
off as our defense lately. It's kind of been making some improvement, but I remember like a while back when we were playing you guys, you were probably one of the very few guys who just messaged me and say, "Hey, you're gonna get a new quarterback," and I didn't think for 1 second. I thought you were just joking with me, and then I saw the news, and I'm like, "Oh shit, we got Jimmy G on the trade." And dude, it was like dude. You were like you were like the first guy to say, "Hey, you got a new quarterback. Hopefully he do good for you guys."
Yeah.
Yeah. What was it like when you played Jimmy the first time? He made it look effortless that first time he played you guys.
That was a game where I thought it was going to be a W, and we were just hitting a funk, and you guys came into Tennessee and you beat us. Jimmy G shocked the world. And that was what, 4 years ago when he went
Yeah,
in and he
4 years.
was about 6-0 to end the season. And it was like, ooh, you know what, Niners, they're up. They're in the very next season. Jimmy kept doing what he was doing.
Yeah, that's what's interesting about it. But now that you look at this matchup now, like at first we were struggling early in the season. You guys were playing solid up and down, but then you guys beat Buffalo. You beat quite a few good teams, but you lost to the Steelers, man. I don't understand why you lost to Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh is probably one of the most overrated teams.
So with just our offense in general, and I'm looking at some of the comments. I think it was Huxley. Like, yeah, when we lost Henry, it killed us because offensively we haven't been able to flow, and that's mainly because of injuries. AJ Brown finally, so excited an hour ago, phone pings, he's activated from IR, and then Julio gets to play tonight. So we're finally getting our offensive weapons back, but we've only had Henry, Brown, and Jones for a total, in Tannehill together for a total of 2 games. And so right now our offense is struggling, and we know this as football players, you need those reps. So the timing, I think, is going to be off, but luckily it looks like we may get Derek back for week 18 against the Texans. If not, we got the AFC wild card, but the way our offense is struggling right now, kind of scared. We may miss the playoffs after having a strong start to the season. So I'm just hoping our defense has been pretty strong the last 2 weeks, and we'll see. Hopefully everything clicks tonight, but goes back to, I think the Niners defense is actually getting stronger and better these last few weeks.
Yeah, it's kind of like both teams are kind of like showing some good signs. We just came away with a dominant performance against the Falcons, which I was at that game, and the Bengals game was a really good to the wire type of game that I was looking forward to. That game just almost gave me a heart attack, but I felt like, hey, we beat the Bengals. They're a good team this year. Nobody gave them credit, and they're finally playing good football. They might even win the division, but when I look at Tennessee's got the Colts. Colts and them are just going to fight for that division. But the thoughts of this game is you guys don't have Taylor Lewan at the game. He's going to be out for this game. What is it? Roger Staffeld's going to be out. So the concerning
that's big thing that I want to talk. Offensive line, and actually Saffold tested positive for COVID, but also Kendall Lamb just tested positive. So our offensive line is going to be brutal. And someone had, again, mentioning on Tannehill, he's digressed because our offensive line has been horrid this year. Like, we're not giving them any time in the pocket, and it's killing us. But it's 50-50 Tannehill. Tannehill has made some really crap decisions. And he did make some bad decisions against in the Patriots game, but also the Steelers game. And even that Texans game where we lost to Tyrod Taylor. Holy hell. Yeah, and then even thinking about the Jets game early in the season, Tannehill, he just hasn't up to par, and a lot of Titans fans didn't want him gone. Me personally, I feel like, yes, he's digressed, but I think if he gets that timing down, because he's an average quarterback that could get it done, and once he has Henry back, it'll help out. He kind of Tannehill really reminds me a lot like Alex Smith, a game manager, when he has all of his weapons. I mean, he's not Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, and we don't need him to be that. We just need him to make plays when we need him to. And to this point, especially this season, he hasn't. So it's been kind of heartbreaking.
Yeah, and I guess this guy put on a good question, Shardo. He says, how would you rate Tannehill on a scale of 1 to 10? I think he would be like a 7 or 6, right?
I'd give him 6, 7 right now.
Yeah, I mean, he's not too bad.
Yeah, like I said, great manager, and then Julio Jones is going to play tonight. I don't know how his hamstring's going to hold up, but when he left on Sunday, I was like, crap, hammy. And I was really excited for that Julio pickup at the beginning of the season, and all of a sudden, injuries come back. I'm thinking maybe, he's been playing the injury card because Atlanta had been pretty rough the last 2 years, but he just can't stay healthy. And, I mean, we gave up a 2nd and 3rd round pick for him, and just like crap.
Well, his veteran presence makes a difference.
We make playoffs. He needs to step up big time.
Yeah, and his veteran.
With Henry coming back, too.
Yeah, especially with Henry. Like, I think he's supposed to return in the playoffs. But then looking at your running game, it hasn't, like, even without Henry, your running game has been solid despite him not playing. Like, I see Deontay Foreman's like your other go-to running back. Jeremy Nichols, who we had on our practice squad for a while before he went to you guys. I don't know, like, your running game is still it's like going good right now, despite Henry being gone. Whether he's gone or not, Tennessee is still having a really good running game.
Yeah, running. So Dontrell Hilliard, solid. Foreman has been solid. McNichols has been kind of banged up. The one thing about them, though, is they've been fumbling like crazy. Like, we have had 15 fumbles in the last 4 games, and that's our biggest thing right now is turnovers. Turnovers are killing us. I look at the Steelers game. We had the ball for 40 minutes, outgained them by 200 yards, but we still lose by 6, and it's all because of the 4 turnovers. Otherwise, Steelers, they didn't do much. We were keeping them away from the red zone, and they were just kicking field goals. And so I'm just hoping, and I think that's what tonight's game is going to come down to, is the turnover margin.
Yeah, I think that's been the issue for quite a while. Is like Tannehill's been causing turnovers here and there, but it's like, like you said, you haven't gave him enough time. He's been getting pressure a lot, but now that losing 2 of your key or your other key offensive linemen is not going to make it any better for you guys, and you're going to have Bosa licking his chops up, and then you got Arden Key, who was a Raider cast-off. Now he's he's making a name for himself with 5 sacks this year. I think this was the cheapest signing we made this offseason, and he's paying off huge dividends. Like, I think he's the one guy that Tannehill would have to watch out for. I mean, Bosa may not be as quick, but he's got the best technique, but Arden Key is a sneaky guy. He'll come out of nowhere. So, like, how do you feel about that matchup against that defensive line?
Obviously, I'm rooting for my team because I'm a diehard Titans fan. But when it comes to our offensive line, I will not be surprised if you guys are feasting on Tannehill tonight, just due to the fact that, yes, Lawan's out, Saffold's out, so that left side is going to be completely. I think Bosa and Key can feast off that side. And then our biggest thing is, man, David Kessenberry on the right side is the worst right tackle in the league right now. Because I like to follow our Titans individual, Wes Whistler, and he said that Kissenberry has allowed 16 sacks this year, the most. And so that's where, again, it comes back to, why is Tannehill digress? Offensive line has been completely shit this year. I mean, just a complete drop off from the past couple of years. Last year we had a top 5 line, and then we come into this year and it's what's going on. And I know a lot of Titans fans, our biggest thing that we want is we want J-Rob to go in and fix our offensive line, and then also get Tannehill some weapons at wide receiver and tight end.
Yeah, that's always been the most key when it comes down to it, is your offensive line. Like, Tannehill's actually kind of been playing the best he could, but if you don't give this guy enough time, he's going to be running like Russell Wilson for his life. So it's like, I'm surprised. Like, last year, you guys had a really good, solid line. Now it's kind of like decline, maybe because of the injuries or maybe because of the fact they're missing time. It takes away the chemistry a little bit. Just like my team in general, we started off the season okay with our line. Our line started showing some signs of struggling. Now it's kind of gelling a little bit. So it's always has to depend on how they have the timing together, the chemistry. Everything has to gel for that line to work. Don't you agree?
Definitely. You need that chemistry, and right now it's just a struggle. It's hard watching Titans game when I know that we're going to give up 4 or 5 sacks a game, because our offensive line, it's like block, go get them. And so it's been tough. Obviously our offensive line can run block, but pass block out the door. I won't be surprised if we see a lot of screens tonight, because your defensive line is going to be getting in a lot. So
yeah, quick screen passes would probably work.
I expect a lot of Jeremy McNichols tonight, a lot of screens, a lot of quick passes to AJ. I think they're going to try to really open up AJ after being on IR and being out for the last 4 weeks. Julio, I mean, I don't have much expectations for him. I won't be surprised if he's out by the first quarter because of that hammy.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't care for San Jose State. They're garbage. It's all about that. It's all about that Fresno State vibe, man.
Yeah.
No, I'll just play, man. I know, it's all good. Hey, yeah, to be honest, Jeff Garcia was probably the best one to come out of San Jose State, actually. Best journeyman quarterback by far. But yeah, Tennessee, it's an up-and-coming team. They've been good for a while because Vrabel, he knows what he's doing. He's been playing this game for a long time. He's got that Belichick mindset. Like, you guys are building a good squad, and you're still competing for the playoffs year in and year out. So what's there to complain as a Tennessee Titans fan? And then you're getting some solid draft picks. You're actually making some good investments. So I feel like the ceiling for Tennessee is, hey, you guys can win your division. You might just have to compete for the wild card spots, but you're still going to be that road team that's going to surprise people and maybe make it to the AFC Championship game, maybe like the previous time.
Yeah, and that's what it looked like at the beginning of the season. I mean, we go into Buffalo, beat Buffalo. We beat Kansas City 27-3, and then we sweep the Colts, and then injuries and COVID. I mean, but I look at the Ravens. Ravens have been hammered by injuries, and they're still up there. But it's injuries and COVID dampened our season. But to be 9-5, I'm satisfied with it right now. But if somehow we fall out, we don't make the playoffs, or we get bounced in the first round, I think it's just going to be a disappointment. But again, as long as we're healthy going into the playoffs, I think we're going to be fine. We have the team, because come January, when we're having to travel, East Coast, because that's where it looks like it's headed. New England, Kansas City, possibly Buffalo too. we get Derek back, that got to just run him, and that's what it's all about. Can you control the ball?
That's one thing that Tennessee's been doing well on. When it comes to them, they're able to run the ball really good. They're able to control the time of possession. But like you said, lately you guys have been struggling on getting into the end zone at times.
End zone and turnovers. You can't do that. You can't win football games if you're turning the football over. Biggest thing, and we know that as us playing football and just watching. You can't win with turning the damn ball over, and that's been our problem the last 4 or 5 weeks. I mean, like I said, 15 fumbles in just the last 4 weeks alone. Just ridiculous. I love posting up on our Titans fan pages. Like, screw it. Like back in the day, coaches would start fining you if you couldn't hold the damn ball. And do something. All I know is I'm tired of seeing the ball on the floor. It's killing us.
It's definitely hurting your team a lot when it comes to, like you just said, 15 fumbles for those last 5 or 6 games. It's unacceptable. And I mean, you guys are a good team, but it's kind of like you guys are kind of showing your ups and downs. But lately, since Tannehill's been throwing picks, I looked at you guys' overall record the last 4 games. You guys are 1-3, man. That's, I don't know. Struggling, that's bad. It's really bad. But especially on a primetime game, Tannehill plays solid during those games. But Jimmy G, when it comes to a primetime game, I looked at his record. I think it's 8-3 during primetime games. And this is where Jimmy G plays his best football, especially when it comes on the lights of whatever game. But then Tannehill does play good too, so it's anybody's guess. But then you guys are going to have your receivers coming back, so it could depend on the chemistry because Tannehill didn't have them for that while, and it takes like if Tannehill doesn't have enough time in the pocket, it can really disrupt the rhythm a little bit, and that can be the concerning factor. But if you guys can run the ball and do what you guys have been doing, it can really help Tannehill a little bit on throwing the ball quickly.
Yeah, our running game, that's going to be the biggest thing. Foreman, Hillard, and McNichols, they got to set the tone tonight. And I'm just a firm believer that first drive sets the tone for the whole game. Whoever gets it, whether we're on offense or defense, that first series. But I know the biggest thing, the one thing that I'm looking forward to is the fact that we have the number 2 rush defense versus your running offense right now, which has been killing it for the last month. Actually, last month plus, especially since Kyle Shanahan finally figured out, I could use Debo in the backfield and wide receiver. What is it? Wide receiver, running back 1?
Yeah, that's what Debo is.
I'm looking forward to that matchup. Our rush defense versus your guys' rush offense. I think that's going to dictate the game.
Yeah, it definitely is, because if we can do our scheme the way we've been doing it, Debo's actually kind of made any run defense look pretty bad. Like, look at the Bengals. Bengals had a really good run defense, and we made them look foolish. What's the thoughts of Shair? I think him coming back does make a huge difference, because when he's out there, the defense is setting the tone pretty good. No offense to Dre Greenlaw, you haven't been healthy all season, but Shair is kind of emerging into our second best linebacker behind Fred Warner. But I think he's playing a lot better than Fred Warner this year, and he's getting better. Number 51 is going to be the one guy you might need to watch out for. If I had to talk about X factor of this game, I think number 51's coming back from the injury is going to be the huge difference of how is he going to stop your offense. Like, whoever's your running back, he's going to go right there. Or if you throw a pass to one of your tight ends or somebody else, he'll make a good play on the line of scrimmage. Fred Warner's always been in good positions too, but he hasn't really played his best ball like since he signed that contract. But lately, he's kind of played okay. So what's your thoughts of those matchups? I feel like our linebackers should be able to match up well against your running backs or your playmakers.
Yeah, I think so. Shair, when I've watched the Niners, he stepped up. Warner has kind of taken a step back this year, but I mean, it looks like a lot of offenses aren't going towards his way either. They're trying to they're trying to go weak side instead of strong side. So that plays a factor too. When you have that individual circled as your big playmaker, they're trying to go away from him. That's why I think tonight you'll see we're going to try to run away from Bosa. We're going to make sure that we can go opposite instead of towards him.
Yeah, and here's a suggestion from Tommy. Hey, Payne, try and strip Wilson. He still doesn't secure the ball. He's referring to Jeff Wilson. That guy, he kind of has a little bit of ball security. He's going to be starting this game. And there's another question for you. Who will be the X factor for the Titans for your team? Who do you expect to step up this game?
X factor, I think it's going to be Jeremy McNichols. I think he's going to have to make some big plays on offense for us. I mean, we get the AJ Brown, the Julio, but I think so far he's been when he does play, he typically will make a big play or two. I think he's our X factor on offense tonight. On defense, I think Jeffrey Simmons, big Jeff Simmons. He's got to be able to control the line because we know that Debo's coming. And last week we got Bud Dupree back from injury, and he looked solid against Pittsburgh. He had a sack, and so our defensive line and our linebacker crew is finally getting healthy. So I'm excited for that. And again, overall, if you want to think real big X factor, our defense versus your rushing offense. The individual players, McNichols and Simmons.
Okay, for sure. I'd like to give a huge shout out to Corey Davis for the $5 donation. For the people that don't have NFL Network, you can watch the game on NBC Network 703 Comcast. I'll definitely check it out. Oh, here's a fan of a Titan fan. You're not alone. Guess you got your own Tennessee fan and got one
Titan
little army right there.
Sports Star. Let's go. Yep.
Oh, so like I told, this is what I said about Chardot about the X Factor. I do expect Shair to be the X Factor on defense. Offense, who I expect to be the X Factor is a guy who happens to be from the state of Tennessee, and he's been playing solid on offense. I'm expecting Juwan Jennings to be the X Factor. He's going to be the one guy that determines whether our running game's going to be good or whether he's going to make the key catches. Hey, you could definitely trust him in the red zone. He's been money on the red zone. So I say Juwan Jennings because I've been a big fan of him, and I've been praising about this guy all offseason, and everybody kind of thought I was smoking crack.
Hey, 2 years ago, the draft, I told you I was pissed when we did not pick up Jennings. We were texting about this, and when you got him, I was just like, this kid is going to be, he won't be an all-star, but he's going to do enough. He's gonna be a good receiver, and I was so pissed when you guys picked him up. And I knew that he had some kind of red flags in college because he got into it with some coaches, but that kid's a baller, and he's a big body. So
yeah, and
I wouldn't be surprised if Jennings makes some plays tonight.
I kept getting mad about these small receivers we keep drafting. I keep remember how you're saying, "Oh, this guy can separate." I'm like, dude, I don't care about this. I don't care if he can separate. I want the size. And you kept saying, "Oh, you'll like Jennings. He's bigger." I said, "All right." Yeah, Jennings can really block. He may not be fast, but he can win contesting catches when necessary. Oh, and I guess Tommy's complimenting you. He says you have cool friends, critics, etc. Oh, he's talking about my boy, the other guy, Lawrence. Now the other guy. Remember that one dude that likes all other quarterbacks?
Yeah. Lawrence. Yeah, we went to college with him.
Yeah, that dude's funny.
Yeah, he goes from Wilson's a god to Lamar Jackson's a god to. Yeah.
I thought he was always bashing Lamar at first. He said, "I'm not a big fan of him." Now he's all on his jockstrap now.
Probably, I don't know. I really haven't been following him.
I know. What time? Oh, I think the game should be around. Should be at 5:30. But by the time it's gonna start, I'll probably only be able to watch maybe about 1 hour of the game before I go to the job shift at I'm going to work all the way towards another site. So I'll probably watch a little bit of it.
Yeah, I'll miss probably miss the first half because we got wrestling practice from 4 to 6. Thoughts on Henry? Man, I think if we get him back, he's gonna be a big role. And I think the good thing about what we've seen with Foreman and Hilliard is that we don't have when Henry comes back, we don't need to give him the ball 30, 40 times. We can
Like,
ease him in.
yeah,
And,
just do like a 3-man carry at least. Complement each other. That's how we've been doing it. We've been using different backs, but now lately we've been overusing them. Elijah Mitchell, we definitely need to make sure he's healthy so we could have him in the playoffs if we get there. This game's going to have to be a must win for us, but you guys have to win too. So it's kind of both ways. But this game does have a lot at stake because if Tennessee wins, they control their own destiny of winning the division. The Niners, if they win, they hold their own destiny of maybe pushing for that number 5 seed over the Rams. So that's a good one to go with. Oh, so I mean, there's definitely good vibes about this game. I'm excited about this game. I personally had this game marked as a tough game because of the way you guys play and the way you're well coached by Mike Vrabel.
Yeah.
Before that, when the season started, I had different change of minds of which one's going to be tougher. And that game that I marked on my calendar is a win against the Bengals. That was the one game that was the next, because I actually did mark Tennessee as a tough one. But when I saw how the Bengals were playing throughout the season, I was like, oh, that's a tough one. And that one's a relief. But this one's my next one. This is the tougher one. So I feel like this matchup determines the time of possession. Who's going to be able to make the lesser mistakes? And is Tannehill going to play better this time? That's the question.
Our damn offensive line can give him some time, but we have a makeshift offensive line. But I think overall it's going to be a fun game. It could be one of them games that is actually low scoring because of our defenses. If our defense comes out and plays like they've done the last 2 weeks, it could be low scoring, and it's going to boil down to who makes the least amount of mistakes. And also, I'm wondering, who's going to be officiating this game? Who is it? Hockley and his crew? I don't even want them. 13,
Man, I can't stand them.
flags a game. We had Kevin Byard make it to the Pro Bowl because he has 7 picks this year. I was pissed, so pissed that Jeffrey Simmons got snubbed. Harold Landry right now at 12 sacks.
Should have been in.
But it's hard with the AFC because you got JJ Watt, you got Myles Garrett. So it's tough to, tough getting a spot. But there's a few guys. I mean, if Henry would have been healthy, he would have been an automatic Pro Bowler. I think he would have been in the running right now for MVP if he never goes down. Because, I mean, he's 5th in rushing right now. 5th, yeah. Out for 6 games. He would be right there. I think he would have been pretty close to getting to 2,000 yards right now. That's what I believe. Before it got hurt, he was almost at 1,000. What was crazy about that game, he said he broke it the second play of the game against the Colts. He played the whole game with it. So that just showed Henry's toughness.
Yeah, you got another Titan fan in the building. Billy Scott. He's another dude that I've seen around. He's a cool dude. He's kind of being funny.
He said coming for that ass tonight.
Hey, he's a good dude. He's a really good dude. Man, Titans. Oh yeah, I guess don't mind them. They're just like very entertaining. They kind of make it pretty interesting. Especially, I like some of the other fan base coming in, even if they come up with the feedback a little. I like that, so it's cool.
Someone posted a question: do we think we could stop Kittle?
Yeah,
like that. The way Kittle's playing right now, shit.
He's gonna be tough.
We better get all 11 boys to the ball if we're gonna tackle Kittle.
That's gonna take a lot of boys, man. Like that Saints game. Remember how he got like 4 or 3 people trying to tackle him and he carried them?
Excited. Kevin Byard excited just because last season he played horrible, and then this year we finally get a defensive coordinator, and we changed the schemes because last year we were atrocious on 3rd down. And this year, way better. It's because we're actually playing man to man, and then Bayard is able to play his spot. He can play the free safety spot how he wants. He's a ball hawking safety. So if Jimmy G kind of overthrows, I could see Bayard getting a pick tonight.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what makes it kind of interesting about your safeties. He's been the most consistent ball hawker since I've looked at the stats. Like I think he's always averaging between the 6 and 7 picks a season because he's always been in good position to get the ball. Number 31's been like your best player for quite a while. Before that, you had other guys like what's his name, Michael Griffin.
Mm-hmm.
He was another good player, but never got much recognition. But this guy, you got him like in the 5th round, right? And he became a ball hawk from Middle Tennessee.
Yeah, Middle Tennessee.
Yeah, and he was that one guy who praised about Richie James. He was that same guy when he was telling the Niners. He said, "Niners, you're getting a hell of a good player. Where's Richie James? He ain't doing nothing for us now." Yeah, but watch out for Trent Williams. Trent Williams has been playing at a very high level this year, dude. He's been pushing people like it's nothing. Oh, every QB is struggling, and he lights up the next. Oh, shout out to Tommy Huxley for the $2 donation. So every time a QB struggle, he lights up. Watch they do. I don't know why. The thing that's kind of struggling is when the quarterback tends to struggle, they always play good football against us, and I don't understand why we do that. It's like, do we just sleep on the job or something?
Hey, if Tannehill could come out and throw for 275 and 2 touchdowns, I wouldn't be mad about that.
I mean, I'd be upset because if Tannehill kills us, that's not good. But you would be happy. You'd be like throwing a.
Oh, yeah.
Then I'll get a lot of this. Then it'll be kind of funny after the game. I probably won't hear the last from you. You'll probably be the one saying, "Oh, we beat you guys. We beat you guys." I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah. Well, same thing. You beat us tonight. We whooped that ass.
Pretty much. Hey, what's up, Cardinal Rule? There's another dude. He's a good Cardinals YouTuber. He does some good algorithms and all the other stuff that he does for his channel. Like, he's a good dude. He's a professor. He does schoolwork. What you do? You do like schoolwork for middle school, right?
Yeah, I'm an 8th grade English teacher. 8th grade English, right in the Central Valley. One of the roughest schools in Fresno.
Roughest neighborhood too. So like for this guy, the Cardinal Rule, he's a professor in college from what he told me. So you guys have a little bit of something different in common. You work in the school district, but if it wasn't for you working at school, would you actually kind of start a YouTube channel at some point or not right now?
I would, because with Tennessee, we don't got a lot of people that cover us. I mean, like I mentioned, Wes Wisley earlier. I love watching him. I have him on Facebook and Instagram, constantly updating us on Titan news. So I knew Kendall Lamb was going to be out tonight. He was the first one to post about AJ Brown, even before the ESPN and Adam Schefter. This guy is on his stuff.
Oh, but there's another one too. I know it's not a big market with your fan base, but there's this one called Titan Upload. That's another guy I've heard of. And then there's one called, I don't know. He's kind of like in the same category with the same amount of followers as me. I would say the other guy's named Titan Anderson. He's another YouTuber. And then there's the one called The Coaches Play. He's got 3,000 subscribers, but he coaches and does semi-football. He seems like a cool dude. But there's not a lot of these Titans YouTubers I could think of. There's one that was okay. There is this one Titans YouTuber who was a total douche, but I'm not going to say his name because it wouldn't be kind of good for the algorithm. But he goes by, I guess they go by this group called the Titan Tube, and I guess he was trying to like make it sound like I was just lower than him when I was just like close, like halfway up to his same level, So, like they say, humble yourself. But I feel like if you did start a YouTube channel, I think you'll probably just hit it off. And all you got to do is just do what you do. Post Titan videos on the YouTube channel, which I do on the Niners channel. And everybody keeps checking it out. And that's how you get the algorithm. A lot of the people on the Facebook groups, they'll either want to check out your channel or they just probably don't care for it. That's just how it goes. Yeah, I think maybe in the near future they should see a YouTuber by the name of Titans Payne, man, because you're gonna bring the pain. Come on, bring the pain.
Shit. Obviously, that's what my students believe every time I get into the classroom, or most
Yeah.
definitely on the football field or wrestling mat too.
Oh, you're a wrestler too, dude. Like that's the one thing that we both have in common. We both started wrestling during our amateur days. We did football, just a different team category. That's about it. We like the Lakers.
Yeah, Lakers. I don't even want to talk about what's happening
Ah,
in
no,
LA
no, no,
right
no.
now, man. It's killing me, especially with the Warriors and what the Warriors and the Suns are doing.
Dude, I'm hearing a lot of this crap from Warrior fans, dude. It's ridiculous. They're doing good this year. I ain't gonna lie, but then we ain't doing crap. But yeah, dude. No, Tommy, you can get it. Well, if we want to answer that question, what? He doesn't got one yet. He's not even like he doesn't have the time. He works at school districts. He maybe when it comes down to extra free time, maybe at some point that you might see him come around. But he's just a friend of mine that works in the school district.
Go Warriors.
Ah, ah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. But I know at some point, CG, you're 16-16. So still repping that team despite the record. I mean, yeah, dude, like maybe for what the students are saying, you should start a channel at some point. Oh, and Titan fans will be my brother. We've been friends. Yeah, you've been friends with this guy for a long time.
Yeah. Middle school days.
Yeah, that Bronco fan. Yeah, that dude. He was the shyest one I've ever met.
Yeah.
He's very
guy,
shy.
though. Good guy.
Yeah, he's a good dude. He's a good dude. He'll always have your back if somebody did something wrong to you.
I mean, I think his Broncos suck ass, but hey, it's another story.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. Just the Broncos, and then he's got the Mavericks too. So it's like he got Mavericks, but he likes the Giants and the Sharks. So we're cool.
Hey, you know what? All good because we all know that Luca's gonna end up in LA.
Oh man, definitely, man. But yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. What do you think, man? You think that's a good idea since the students were kind of encouraging you to start a channel, or no?
Something that I'll think about doing, but again, time. I'm just teaching, coaching takes a lot of my time up. It's probably what's holding me back because I do know just in general, my football knowledge probably is kind of dip. I mean, I do a lot of fantasy football. This year I did 10 leagues. 10 leagues. I'm in 9. I made 9 in 10 of those leagues, 9 playoff runs. So we'll see. Something that I could think about maybe trying to start in the summer.
Yeah, and speaking of fantasy football league, you're on the same league I'm playing in too, and I am the defending champion.
Yeah, defending champ.
Yeah, dude.
I believe that's the league. Actually, yeah, because our buddy
Will created that lead.
Was it
Yeah,
Will?
he created. That Cardinals fan. He created that lead.
No, I don't even want to talk about the Cardinals.
That dude's annoying, but he's funny. I ain't gonna lie. He is
funny. He's a good guy.
He's a good dude, but he could be a little annoying. Oh man, but in all seriously, man, definitely appreciate your time. I know you probably got to get going pretty soon, but for the near future, we'll definitely keep you guys updated if Titan Payne's gonna ever have a channel. But he's a really good close friend of mine. He knows me and he knows Adrian and Lawrence, those other 2 personal friends of mine. But he took offense to the Broncos. Yeah, but I was getting a lot of crap talk from Giants fans when they played Dodgers in the play. Yeah, okay. All right, guys. Appreciate you guys. Hey, it's pretty good that a lot of people want to know who you were. So that's the thing. The name kind of clicks, Titans Payne. That's kind of like that. There's not a lot of those YouTubers like that. It's not a big market. Like your market is kind of like the Cardinals fan market because they don't have a big market except for the AZ Sports fan. And the Cardinal Rule's kind of rising up to the occasion. He's a really good one.
Yeah.
So I think you would have a better chance to get some good followers and get some extra income. And all you gotta do is just keep posting videos. Like, you can even do short update videos and you'll get hella views. You just have to share it through Facebook and all the other stuff. And as soon as you reach the 1,000 subscribers and the 4,000 watch hours, you're definitely going to get monetized. Trust me, I've got a chance to do that. And it was frustrating for a while, but then I started pushing for it, and it paid off.
Yeah, I've seen your work. I've seen you grow the last couple of years in your stuff. I'm proud of you. You started from the bottom, and now you get to interview a handful of people. And then, I saw Takeo Spikes, liked your Twitter page. It's dope. So you're growing, and I see you. I see you working.
Yeah, and you were talking about that Grant Cohen video. Like you said, that interview was pretty interesting, huh?
Yeah.
What about the Mike Rump and the Julian Peterson ones? Those are the ones I got out there.
I like the Julian Peterson one. The Rump one, I didn't get to watch the whole thing. I have to go back and watch, but the Julian Peterson one. But to get guys on there like Rump and Peterson, that's pretty dope.
And then Derek Smith was another one, Jamie Winborn. But then the one that's the most entertaining interview you'll probably ever see is the Keith Lewis one. This guy went straight, he did like a shoot or something, like kind of like going straight brutally honest, and he didn't take back what he said.
Yeah. Which, hey, there's some brutally honest people out there.
But he kind of he kind of put it like in words to where like he said, "Hey, who's that one short Broncos quarterback?" And then I said, "Jay Cutler." He says, "F that guy." You got to watch that one. That one's golden. And he looked like he was stoned. He looked stoned, like he was high.
She could have been fucking stoned.
Like RVD type interview right there.
Shit.
Yeah, man. But I appreciate you on the show. Maybe in the near future, when you have time, we can definitely catch on. You're more than welcome. Adrian comes on the show too, but he's starting his own channel too. He's starting his own little channel.
Nice.
Hopefully, I don't know if you checked out his channel, but he has like a little channel like up to 80 subscribers or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got a little channel.
Well, before we take off, make sure we got to get predictions for tonight.
Oh yeah, prediction. Oh yeah, predictions. Okay, I kind of slipped out of it, but yeah, let's get on the predictions. So I'll go first, and then you go with your predictions. Okay, this game's going to be interesting. On a short week, Tennessee's going to have their key players coming back, except for their offensive line. This game will have to determine who's going to make the lesser mistakes. And I feel like we're the hot team, and it doesn't matter where we go because we're better on the road than we are at home. So I feel like the Niners have momentum in their favor. So I definitely do see us beating the Titans 28-20. But Tennessee is not going to be easy. It's going to be a tough task. Well, what's your prediction of it?
You know what? I'm going field goal, and I got to go with my Titans. I'm saying 27-24 Tennessee.
Oh, so it's going down the wire just like that last time we played you guys. That went down to the wire too.
I almost wanted to say 17-14 Titans over the Niners, but I'm like, you know what? I think we're both going to put some points on the board tonight. So
I feel like it's going to be competitive.
Yeah.
Adrian. This Broncos. Okay, so from what
Broncos.
Easy
dub.
So from what he told me, you're his best man. Is that true?
Yeah, I'm going to be best man at his wedding.
That's cool, man.
Yeah. His wedding's in April. And then my wedding's in March. He's one of my groomsmen because my brother's obviously going to be my best man. So it's going to be 2022 is going to be a fun year.
Oh, hopefully, man. But if I had the free time, I probably wouldn't mind going to your wedding, man. It'd be cool. But
I'll text you the date and see if because it's going to be on a Friday because, holy hell, weddings.
Weddings get pretty crazy, man. Try 2019 with a broken freaking ankle, and I had to go in a wheelchair that day. Yeah. I'll tell you what, it was a crazy experience.
Yeah.
All right, man. So everybody else, me and Titans Payne is going to be out. So we'll look forward to the game. Maybe next time we'll definitely catch up, man.
Will do. Thanks for having me on, man. Appreciate it.
No problem. As always, go Niners. I know you're going to say go Titans.
Tighten up, baby. Let's
All right.
go.